What is going on, guys? Welcome to the inaugural episode of 3 Wishes Later, the Eternal Dragon podcast, all about the Dragon Ball Super card game Master specifically. Probably won't be talking a whole lot about Fusion World. Today, you guys are going to finally meet the two individuals that I spoke about in my life update video. These are my partners now helping me with the channel. We've made some content together. We were on a team briefly together. My friends Austin and Logan, how are you guys doing today?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good.
Ying.
Man, a few words, Logan.
Man, a few words.
Man, a few words. Austin, starting with you, give us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into Dragon Ball?
So I got into Dragon Ball around the BT18, BT19 time period of the game. I came in because one of my best friends, shout out Zachary, he came into Dragon Ball with like a heart full of I love Dragon Ball characters and all of that. So like we initially just started as playing as just like super casual, didn't really know what we were doing. But as I learned and got better, I've just fell in love with the game.
And what is it the most you enjoy about the game itself? Like what brings you back?
The interaction. This game, out of every other TCG that I've ever played, the interaction feels the most balanced. It feels like if you're a bad player and you learn a specific deck to its fullest potential, you can still compete with good players. Deck knowledge and card knowledge is super important to this game, in this game specifically, and I love that about this game.
So to you, it definitely feels more like a skill-intensive game. There's not a lot of luck sacking.
Yes,
you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that with any card game. You know, RNGesus is a thing in card games. You know, if you don't draw what you need, then you're screwed anyway. But to what it sounds like to me, you definitely enjoy the fact that the better player almost always feels like they won.
Yes.
Now, since you've started, have you developed a favorite deck, or if you don't have a favorite deck specifically, like what are a couple of them, and what would be like your favorite card of the game?
So my favorite deck, I have a lot of supporters out there that have been following my journey with Lord Slug since like the very beginning. Shout out Pancake, shout out a lot of local people. I have taken Lord Slug, Yellow Lord Slug specifically from BT19, I believe, and I have brought him into competitive tables. I played him for 30 hours straight one day. It was crazy. Like, that deck is my spirit animal, and I hope that more people find their niche decks like I found mine. My favorite card.
Go ahead.
My favorite card in the entire game is the Zamasu DBR from the Power Wish deck. Being able to steal people's stuff with a +1 ability on a Unison always just, tickles me in all the right places.
I definitely agree. I think that's a really underrated DBR out of all of them. I mean, for a while now, the most expensive has been the Goku Frieza one because of it's a +1 restand and energy. But like you said, being able to +1 and just steal whatever your opponent's best card is and giving him a shit skillless card is crazy to me.
Well, my argument for it being like my favorite card is it's a pay to get rid of the Dabura counter. So it's like, it's a good fair trade.
Yeah, there you go. Now, have you shared the Lord Slug deck list around yet, or have you have you played it in like a tournament yet?
I have shared that Lord Slug list everywhere. There was months that I posted it daily. I'm sure there's not somebody out there that hasn't came across my list once or twice. Like I play it in a lot of online locals. I've won a few online locals with him. I've got a lot of second places. I usually top when I play him, but he requires a lot of thinking, especially in today's meta, that I get drained after I play him a few times now.
I understand. Like, from what I've seen, it definitely takes a lot of thought, more so than you would expect with like a yellow deck. So, speaking of being a yellow deck, would you say like describe the type of player you are? Are you a control player? Are you an aggro player?
I'm a very I'm a very control player. I love to take advantage of my opponent's misplays, and it brings me joy when I'm able to outmaneuver and outplay my opponent's situation they put me in, or make the situation I put them in even worse by targeting certain cards that are of value. It's that, like I said, this game, one of the biggest things that can help you improve as a player is deck knowledge, not only of what you're playing, but what you're playing against and what they can do. So if you can go into that knowing I can hit this card and it'll affect their next turn, or I hit this card and they can't do their turn 4 play, that's why I believe I'm like a very hardcore control player. I love to prevent plays from happening.
I would definitely agree. Being able to like make when you're able to make your opponent make a decision they don't want to make, then that's how you feel like you're ahead of the game. When you're in control of the game,
it makes you feel like the game master.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that being said, like, where would you say the state of the game is right now? Do you feel like we're in an uptick? Do you feel like we're in a downtick? There's always a conversation about the health
I'm
of
a
Dragon
firm
Ball.
believer. I'm a firm believer that the current state of the meta is the best that it's ever been in. There's so many decks that you can pick up right now that nobody even thinks about, and you can top with it just because like you put in the time and the effort to learn the archetype and the matchups.
Absolutely.
Bandai's doing a really good job on hitting a lot of the really crazy decks, so like being able to pick up a deck that you genuinely like to play, not just because it's meta. Shout out my boy Red Vegeta. It's crazy. Like I love the state of the game that we're currently in. It makes me hopeful for the future.
Good. So pivoting over to my boy Logan over here, let's get to know you a little better. How did you get into this game? How did you get into Dragon Ball?
Well, how I got into it was weird. It was when the start of Dragon Ball Masters was actually starting. So I started at BT1, and I go, oh, this is cool. This is Dragon Ball. And me and my best friend, we watched Dragon Ball, and he showed me all that, and I was like, man, I like Dragon Ball. So I got into that Dragon Ball phase, and I was like, alright, what's out there? And I see that Bandai made a Dragon Ball card game, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I did not know about our locals until I showed up there one day, and I go, oh, so this is what it is. And they're like, yeah, we're having Dragon Ball and the Master card game come in. I was like, perfect, I want to be there. So I've been there since day one of Dragon Ball when it came out, and then I ended after Assault of the Saiyans, and
Took a little bit of hiatus.
the store stopped running it, and then they're like, okay, we don't have support, we don't have anything else, this will be like a kind of our last set for tourneys and stuff like that. So we're just like, oh, okay, now it's just dead. And so down here where we live, or me and Austin live, or the Slug as people like to call him, they never had anything till another locals showed up, and they started to do, I want to say, Mythic Booster to Dawn of the Z and all that fun stuff. But after
So it sounds like
oh, go ahead.
So it sounds like there was a little bit of a lull in your locals in the support for it. So and then it like came back later on.
Yeah, but in another building, basically, or another store, basically.
Sure.
And but yeah, I was saying, but that's how I fully started on Dragon Ball, was when it first came out, and then just all of a sudden I'm back into it already.
So same question to you. What about this game do you enjoy the most? Like what keeps you playing it?
Mostly the art. The art is really nice. On certain cards and stuff like that. There's certain cards where it's like, yeah, okay, you could just leave it on the curb. But other than that, it's just mostly like people that you meet and stuff like that. Because there's some people that are really nice to you, or there's some people who are just not the friendliest. But
Definitely.
other than that, it's just that.
the vibe of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. By far, especially more early on, like about the midpoint, like because I came in at BT6, so I started in Destroyer Kings, and one of the first things that it landed me was the fact that it was a Dragon Ball game. And when I first saw it, I actually came across it on Twitter of all things. I saw an advertisement because Destroyer Kings was coming out, and I ignored it at first because I thought it was like the Panini game or Score game, whatever order it is, because it was Panini and Score. And I ignored it because I heard that game was terrible as far as like gameplay was. So, and then later on, they advertised like the tutorial. So I played the tutorial and fell in love with it because it plays like I hate to compare it to this because they're entirely different games, but it kind of reminded me at first with Magic, because like when I first started playing card games, my experience was with Magic the Gathering. So having to charge energy and pay like resources, it kind of gave me that Magic vibe. But it also, like, I recognize like different aspects of each individual like major TCG out there that with their own elements. Like, we have 8 cards from the top of our deck for life, so that's like prize cards in Pokemon, having resources and all that. But definitely, I think the art in Dragon Ball overall is definitely the best in the card games right now, in my personal opinion. Maybe it kind of fell off at one point, but what they're doing with like SLRs and like the God Rares always looks sick to me. And I definitely would agree about the people who play this game. I think we have the most normal fan base out of any card game. Like, there's no shade to any other card game but players, but like you can recognize a Magic player when you look at one. You could recognize a Yu-Gi-Oh player when you look at one. Like, I'm more taken aback when I find out someone plays Dragon Ball because they seem like a quote-unquote normal person.
Yeah, they're built like a hard-working individual, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we're all old, so we grew up with Dragon Ball, and the demographic, even though like the card game is meant to be for like kids, like more often than not, it's the 30-plus-year-olds playing this game.
Not even that. Probably just like 30, like at least 20 to 30 range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've definitely gotten some younger players recently, but I think in the beginning for sure there was a lot more older crowd. So since you've been playing since the beginning, or at least involved with Dragon Ball since BT1, Logan, what would you say your favorite deck is, or decks?
Shoot. I really don't have a favorite out of all of them. I just play them just because it's like, oh, fun deck, or it's like, oh, this is meta deck, I just want to build the regular one because this looks hype. Honestly, favorite deck, that's so crazy because I know.
Well, if you don't have a favorite deck, what are you playing right now? Like, what has got your heart?
Right now, the most heart would be Trunks Arrival and
Fire.
Brett Jiren, and let's see here.
Fire.
And then we have Yellow Baby. And
fantastic.
Shoot, that's about it.
Now, do you have a favorite card? Like one card that, like, if you could put in every single deck that you ever play, what would it be?
Any card? Let's see here.
Any card.
Hold up.
Could be banned or otherwise.
Hold up. You got me going on Deck Planet real fast. Hold on.
Sure. So, while you look up that, I'll let the people know. Like, a lot of people already know that my favorite deck of all time is Janema Mill. It is the first deck I ever put together. Well, that's not technically true. The first deck I ever actually played was the Shenron's Advent starter deck. But the first constructed deck that I put together was Janema Mill. I've always been a fan of alternate win cons. I mean, and I like the salt that it brings. And then if you again, most people should already know this about me. I mean, if you go scroll down the video list, you'll see Basic Millonomics, the greatest rap parody of all time about milling out card games.
Shout out the People's Champ.
The People's Champ. And I think like that will always be my favorite, even though I don't play it a lot anymore. Like, I have a build that I really need to try because I think like it helps it a lot. And with the upcoming set, which we can get into here in a minute, has some cards that improve it. But like, I have a tricolor build I really want to try between like blue, yellow, and red, and just to be able to take advantage of the Topo Floodgate, because Defending Friends, as a blue floodgate is ass on its own, at least in the current meta. But as a mill deck, allowing your opponent to bottom deck cards from their hand just makes it so much harder to mill them out.
That is true.
So did you happen to find your favorite card?
Yes, I found my favorite card.
What is your favorite card?
SS Son Goku Decisions Made.
SS Son Goku.
Oh,
Tell me what
my
that card does.
goodness.
this
This guy loves this card.
Let me pull it up myself.
So,
Tell me why you like it though.
reason why is because Trunks Arrival has a Z Extra that is a 5 cost. You have to play out of under Vegeta when you swing. The thing is with Decisions Made is it states for the permanent, for every Z energy or Z cards in your leader battle area or and battle area, reduce this card by 1. So it's a pay one basically. Counterplay something. It could be unisons, it could be a battle card, it could be anything. And then next thing you know, you play it, they do their autos, and it could be like a draw, or they just play the card, and then this card would just state, okay, because this card, because you played this card, you can send this card to the Z, and then if you do, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, 7 or less, add it to the owner's Z, and then choose one of your opponent's unisons and neg it 2.
Oh, okay. I
Markers.
just pulled it up. First of all, I love the art of this card, but the effect is dope because it's just like random board removal. It almost kind of reminds me, I don't know if this is right to compare it to this. It kind of gives me like a God Sealing Technique vibe, except for Z energy. So like you counterplay it and you just like send this to your Z and then send like their bastard of a card to their Z energy.
Yeah, and hit the unisons.
And they hit
so
the
important.
unisons, yep.
And hit the unison. Removing the markers is crazy. Like that is a sick card. I respect that. I don't know if I
choice.
have a favorite card myself.
I was gonna be basic. I was gonna be like one of those basic bitches and say Super Namekian because Lord Slug,
Sure.
No.
but nah.
You know what?
I'd have to really think about that. I don't know if I have a favorite card per se.
No, you know,
Dude,
you know.
Demurrus Spit's my favorite, if you know what I mean.
There you go.
Nah, the one card that is really good are the signature rares.
Signature rares are always good too. Are you talking about like the ones with the alt art signatures?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I love those ones. When I first started playing the game, I actually kind of thought those were a little overrated, but as the years have gone by, they have grown on me. Like I keep wanting to buy the Hit one because A, Hit's an underrated character in Dragon Ball Super, but the voice actor is someone who's very near and dear to me. The English voice actor for Hit is Matthew Mercer. And for those who don't know, in this particular space, Matthew Mercer is the dungeon master for a show called Critical Role. And he is the reason why I got back into Dungeons and Dragons. So it's a very like full circle kind of thing. And anybody who knows me knows that like I have like this constant hobby ADHD of trying to figure out like what hobby I want to focus on more, and it's tough. But usually it just bounces back between D&D and Dragon Ball, and that's sometimes what happens is I'll be playing Dragon Ball hardcore, and then I'll get like the itch to roll some dice, and then I'll get into Dungeons and Dragons, and then suddenly I'll stop playing Dragon Ball, and it goes back and forth. But I try my best to be able to balance it. Now, with that being said, Logan,
Yeah, what's up?
what type of player are you? Are you a control player, aggro player, mid range? Like, what's your favorite play style?
I have no clue. I think the most I've played is like mostly stall, but I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Mm-hmm. So you just like
Gotta
to play a
find
little
your
bit of
identity.
everything.
Yeah.
He's a very versatile player.
You know what? That's respect because that allows you to have a broader knowledge of deck strategy, because you'll be able to know, like, you know the strengths and weaknesses of every play style, and you can pick up any deck of play style. I shouldn't say any deck, but like for the most part, you can pick up any deck of any play style and have sort of an idea of how to play it if you get told that it's an aggro deck, or if you get told if it's a mid-range deck.
Yeah. Or like hand control to aggro to whatever it is.
So moving on. So these two guys, listening out in the audience below, this is Slug, aka Austin, and this is Logan. These guys are going to be my partners in crime on the channel. We are Eternal Dragon TCGs, and I really wanted to introduce you guys to everything. So now that we've met Austin and Logan, let's talk about the goals of the channel. And I think we've talked about this enough times now. I think like our goal, and you guys can correct me if I misunderstand, is we're trying to create content for the everyday player. And now, what I mean by everyday player is I don't like to use the word casual, because casual has this negative connotation to it, unfortunately. Most people say that casual means bad or unskilled or whatever. But I think there's a lot of casual players who are very good at this game. They just don't care enough to go into the heavy grind of the competitive scene. They just like to play the decks they like and just have fun with it. And I think...
Exactly.
And I definitely think that, like, there are enough channels out there right now that are competitive-based Dragon Ball Super Master channels. Or at least it seems as such. There's very little in that aspect. So I think, like, we want to be able to make that niche our own, of being able just, like, to make cool stuff for the people, see different point of views for, making videos and having a good time. Would you guys agree with that?
I would agree 100%.
I agree on that statement.
Now, is there any other goals you think you guys you think we should achieve with this channel?
Keep it real. We're gonna keep the vibes chill. We're gonna keep the content as lighthearted as possible and as serious as possible. Like, we're gonna bring you guys deck profiles. Like, we're gonna be bringing you guys insane content in the coming future with rogue tier decks. We're gonna be giving you guys profiles on them.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some other stuff planned as well that we're going to go into.
Anything to add there, Logan?
Just get ready to see somebody rage in one of our videos.
Oh, that's
gonna
a
be
guarantee.
me.
Someone's
It's
gonna
gonna be me.
Someone's gonna get pissed.
I flip out, brother. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, get ready for Exodia, my good sir.
Yeah, if I get hit with Exodia, I'm coming over this table, dog.
And then I'm coming to your house. Am I right?
I'm coming all the way to fucking Utah.
I'm gonna come over my table, and then I'm gonna come over to your house.
There you go. Ew. So, as Austin just said, deck profiles, we're going to be putting out the obvious stuff, gameplays, deck profiles, and obviously the 3 Wishes Later podcast. We're going to try to put out, as much regular content as possible. I think the goal is to have at least 3 videos a week out.
Yes, we're going to be doing 2 normal and then 1 podcast, if that's the goal.
That is definitely the goal. And then we also have some ideas for potential video series. I've been asked several times now about the sealed challenge that I used to do, a couple of months ago when I was in the middle of Fusion World. Now, I'm open to doing that. I mean, I think I believe that still the best game to do that with is Fusion World, because it is a new enough game and this product is enough out there. Even though Fusion World isn't the funnest game in Dragon Ball, but it is the way to do it. But I did think of another way to accomplish the sealed challenge with Masters, because it just kind of dawned on me last night while I was prepping this podcast. I could potentially do the sealed challenge with white, because white is a brand new color coming out in the next set, Prismatic Clash, and it's a whole new color, so there isn't like years of staples and backlog of cards to try to get a hold of. So I think if I don't know how you guys feel about it, if it would be a good idea for me to do my sealed challenge with Masters, but I just do it with white.
I think that's a good idea.
Because I think Masters is always going to be the more fun game to me. Not to knock anybody that plays Fusion World, but it just by far is the more fun game. And I think
you're way more kind. You're way more kind than me. Yeah, if you play Fusion World, I'm sorry.
Well, I wanted to be nice about it, okay, Austin?
Okay, but hear me out.
Not me.
But hear me out, alright.
Go to Masters.
Okay, but hear me out.
Okay.
Fusion World does have the prettiest cards.
I think the alt arts are sick. I think the base cards are garbage.
100%.
Like it is so 0 to 100 with Fusion World. It's unreal when it comes to the art. Like when I was there when they debuted Fusion World at Gen Con 2023, I think. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And the intro decks they were showing everybody, the art was so like it was the most bland looking card game, and I thought if this is what this card game looks like, it is going to fail. But then they started to come out with the alt arts when the game really came out. I was like, okay, this is a game that if I were to play it, I would have to max rarity it because I could not stare at these cards all day.
Yeah, I mean, I can't knock Fusion World too much because I did win our very first like set 1 release event tournament. So like
there you go.
Like not the release event tournament, but the tournament following, I won with Android 17 ramp.
Hell yeah. And then I think like the other problem that's going on with Fusion World is the meta is pretty unhealthy at the moment because it's full of yellow Majin Buu and like red Cell. I think that was the last like meta I've seen within the last like month or two, and like Bandai's not doing anything about it.
I mean, look at how long it took them to ban Absolute Annihilation and the 2 Broly Checklands.
Yeah, those could have been banned like 6 months ago.
Like I know that Vegeta players say that the deck didn't get hit via the Broly ban, but it 100% did. It hit the consistency. I see a lot of you guys switching over to the mono red build, saying that it's not any different than the normal build, and yes, it is. Mm-hmm. The consistent barrier removal that you had with the Cumbers and Tenacious Flood is what sold you the meta #1 spot pick. So like, you guys keep on coping, and us Rogue players are gonna show you what it really takes to get into the spotlight.
Absolutely. So another potential video series that I briefly mentioned with Austin and Logan. I don't know I don't have an official title for it yet, but the best way I could come up with is called Deck Roulette, where basically 2 of us are going to play a match against each other, but what we have to do is we spin a wheel of like each slot is every single set in the game, and each individual one of us has to build one, like spin it once. So someone could get BT6 and another one of us could get BT fucking 17, and so then you have to build a leader out of those sets using current, just for simplicity's sake, using current ban list rules and everything, because I don't want to have to create necessarily a gigantic rule set for this. But it just kind of like, you can kind of see and showcase like the different power levels of every deck, and I think it also can showcase like how many leaders can actually you could do something cool with, because I think like the biggest thing with Masters right now is that there isn't like, it's never truly a solved format because there are so many leaders and so many decks out there that there's just not enough time in between new sets and new formats to truly solve a format of what the best deck might be or the best decks might be.
Yes, 100%. And we were also talking about like an offshoot of that series possibly, or a completely different series. You guys let us know down in the comments, obviously, but we were thinking about calling it The Strongest Lineage. Essentially what we're going to do is each person is going to all 3 of us are going to all pick a deck from set 1. We're all going to fight those decks in set 1, and then whoever wins out of all of those 3 matches will stay with their set 1 deck, and then the other 2 will move up to set 2. They'll fight the set 1 deck, and then whoever wins out of those 3 decks will stay, and then that'll slowly progress. It's like moving. It's like who can stay the lowest the longest on the
power creep.
Set. Yeah, yes, on the power creep. It's like whoever reaches BT28 first loses, essentially.
Well, and I think like, well, I don't even want to say loses, but I think what a series like that would showcase is like what really were the busted sets of this game, because everybody kind of has an idea of like what some of the most broken sets of all time in Dragon Ball were. You know, look at BT11, Vermilion,
or BT19.
BT19, like there's a shitload of individual sets that reputation-wise were super broken, and obviously a lot of decks got nerfed with that. I think like to truly showcase that, though, I think what we would have to do is maybe like if whoever's building out of like that set can play like an uneroded version of it to see like how, because like with certain leaders that have been eroded to nothingness. So I think like we could play like like if it's a leader, we could play an uneroded version of it, and then I guess maybe use current ban list or what have you.
We would definitely want to keep current ban list because we don't want to showcase cards that aren't in circulation.
I think like it could really show like, would this eroded leader still be broken today?
Yeah, like objection.
Yeah. Xeno button, like it would be really broken.
Mm-hmm. Or like kind of like a Hyper Evolution Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. You know, we have the reboot that still does pretty well, you know, every now and then in events, but how much more broken would the original one be in today's format?
It would be extremely broken. There's
probably, but you know,
like I see blue players all the time saying that the God Ceiling should come back, or like Dirty Burst, right? Dirty Burst, I could see the argument for bringing that back, but with Daimaku coming out, there's no way in hell that Bandai would ever bring that off of the ban list, like ever. Daima is going to be a menace. Yes, God Ceiling and Daima, like just Daimaku in general. I have a strong suspicion that deck is going to get something hit. Something.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know what card it is. There's going to be some card down the line. I don't know if it's going to be in archetype or out of archetype, but something in that deck is going to cause a card to get hit. It is way too good.
It's already contentious because it's the only deck in the game right now that can play 2 Unisons too. And at least
being
I
able
think
to and being able to turning the tide is a little too good. I mean, I understand there's cards in the game that you can side for that, but if you're running a 60 card list, or even a 55 card list, the likelihood that you're going to see 2 of the cards that you sided by your turn 4, or even one of the 2 cards, it's so unlikely. Mm-hmm. It's possible, but then again, you're passing your turn 4 with 2 energy open just so you can survive a turning the tide play.
So with that in mind, everybody, buy your Jiren Survival of the Fittest.
Yes, Jiren Survival of Jiren Survival of the Fittest is going to be damn near like your go-to pick against Daimaku every time you play against him.
Shoot, I'm adding them to my TCG card right now.
You know what? I know what card might get hit, and I'm going to be very sad about it because this is like one of the cards that I would say, yeah, I would put this in a ramp deck just because. Mm-hmm. It would be, it's a little rough, but it's the 10 cost Gogeta.
Honestly, I could see that because shout out VRM Krim over on Team Vermilion. He plays Daimaku very, very well, and he has a lot of different builds with it, and I'm pretty sure that he also ran that Gogeta 10 drop in one of his builds. Mm-hmm. I know that he's currently running the 8 drop Oob Goku SCR. Amazing choice. I think that'll catch anybody off guard, being able to swing dual attack, bottom deck 2 life, bottom deck 2 energy, bottom deck 2 from hand, bottom deck 2 battle cards. Mm-hmm. Insane value. Shout out Crip.
And I think the next series, I think will have a lot of traction personally. So let us know in the comments down below if you guys. This is something for you guys in the comments to participate with. Me and Slug kind of came up with it, and I came up with the name. It's called the Low Class Warrior Spotlight. Now, that sounds pejorative, but what it is kind of like, think about the meta as the super elite Saiyans. You know, Vegeta was a super elite, and you know he was supposed to be one of the strongest Saiyans in the Saiyan planet Vegeta. And of course, he is one of the strongest Saiyans. Still, he's number 2 or number 1, depending on who you're asking. But just like in the theme of Dragon Ball, Super Elites were like the top of the top, the cream of the crop. And like Goku and Raditz and Bardock were considered the low-class warriors. Now, what this means is the low-class warrior spotlight is going to be for a chance for you guys in the comments to submit to us your rogue decks. You know, your off meta picks, you know, and we will test them out with you, we're not going to deck doctor them. We're not going to change anything about them. We're just going to try them out and see how we like them, and also to show off what you're making in the out there in Dragon Ball space. And I think like that's something really cool, because again, what we've been saying this entire time is that Dragon Ball has so many different leaders, so many potential like decks out there to be played, that we don't really know what the best decks are until
exactly.
And we want to give you guys a chance to put it out there.
Like, to circle back around to your statement you made earlier, we're making content for the everyday player. Casual players, in my experience, are the people that are giving the meta players some of their ideas for like some of these plays. Meta players, I have seen hundreds, thousands of times, they're too lazy to create their own list, so they'll just go on the meta page on Deck Planet, go to the very last regional, click the very highest placing deck of the deck that they want to build or play, press copy, paste it, and then they build that deck card for card. And if that list doesn't work, then they complain about it, and they're like, "Oh, this guy just got lucky," or whatever, right? I think that's ridiculous. When we take one of your guys' decks, I promise that we're gonna do our best to learn it, to play it how you would play it. And if we play it incorrectly, feel free to let us know in the comments, obviously.
Yeah, start screaming at us, bro.
Yeah,
just yell at us. And I think the way that we'll do is you guys will go submit it to us. We'll put a channel in the Discord. Join the Discord down in the description below, for like people to submit the decks, and like kind of just give us like a description of what the deck is and what it's trying to do, and then we can just test it out. You know, we could play against each other. Shoot, if there's a regional coming up and one of us likes it enough, we could try it in a regional and see what happens.
Yeah, we could do a little zero to hero kind of deck series, where we take one of your guys' lists that we really like and power through a regional and see what placing we get with it.
Absolutely. Logan, is there any other like ideas that you would love to see for us to try as a series, or just like a video to put out there? You know, just any kind of ideas?
I had an idea. I was gonna talk to you about it somewhere down the line when we were talking about this before this broadcast. But I was telling Slug, or Austin for short, about doing like the roulette for the decks, but have like another wheel for a like no ban list or a ban list. Like,
so just kind of changing the format entirely.
Yeah.
Well, no. So like it's literally just like devil favors thee. So he's like, we'll spin the roulette reel, see which set we get, right? After we pick our leader from that set, then we spin another wheel that says we either have to use the ban list or no ban list.
That could be interesting.
Kind of like as a chaos format. Right, Logan?
Yeah, just like that.
And didn't you want to call it like Xeno or something like that?
Well, no, that's what it was called, the Xeno format from the Lookout. But this one,
yeah, that would.
But this one would just be more like, all right, we're playing like the BT1 decks. We're playing it with ban format, so we can't use certain cards. But if it wasn't banned, then we would be able to use those cards.
Okay, that's actually a really cool like twist that we could throw onto the strongest lineage, or even do just a separate series of its own. Jeez.
Definitely, there's so much untapped potential in the content game for Dragon Ball that I think there's a lot of things that we could do.
Yes.
So I mean, definitely everybody who's listening, shoot your ideas down in the comments below. You know, let us know what you like about what we put out there, or if you have like a cool video idea that you would like to see out there yourself, and we can kind of see if we can come up with something. You know, we have a ton of ideas. We're trying to start something cool up the content game for Dragon Ball, because I honestly got to say this, the content game in Dragon Ball Masters, even in Fusion World, is severely lacking, and I want to up that game up.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited to work with both of you to make some content. I think that we got a really strong team. I think that we're going to be really informative to like the everyday player.
Well, thank you guys for joining me here and introducing yourself to our audience. Thanks for talking the ideas and the goal of the channel. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we sign off?
Oh, yeah, just because I play Aggro Power Wish doesn't mean I'm playing the deck wrong. That's it. Final thoughts.
Stay tuned. Anything for you, Logan?
I do have one, and this is going to be crumpling for everybody, even in the comments or whoever's watching.
I'm ready. My body's ready.
During the set where DBRs were made, I had a DBR, and I did not know that it was still in my wrapper for the card wrapper, and I accidentally bent it to the point where it looked like a potato chip.
Oh no! Which one was it?
Goku Frieza.
No!
No. Pain. Do you still have it?
No, I gave it away to somebody who was trying to build Power Wish. It's not Austin. No, it's not Austin. It was somebody else.
Oh no.
He who shall not be named.
We'll put him as the guy who has my crinkle chip DVR.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Always check your pack wrappers, everyone. Always check your pack wrappers. Well, all right. That being said, thank you everybody for watching the inaugural episode of 3 Wishes Later. My name is Brent, and you know me as the People's Champ. That is Slug, aka Austin, and of course Logan. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Goodbye.